What's going on, guys? Welcome to the After Credit Scorecard for Hawkeye. We are going to break down episodes, series rankings, what's coming next, and tell you how we did on our predictions. So stick with us right here because we've got a whole lot to talk about. Let's get right into it. Prediction-wise, it's very interesting. I thought throughout the series I did a pretty good job. Watching the show, I thought I got a whole lot of them right. If you actually look at it episode by episode, prediction-wise, stayed above 50%. So for each 7 sections, each episode had 7 predictions on it. I got about 4 of them completely right. There were bits and pieces that I didn't, that I could have twist and say, well, I got this little bit, but not that little bit. But for 2 or 3 episodes, I was over 50%, sitting at 57, 60% accuracy with those predictions. One episode in particular, I went 6 for 7 on those predictions and hit all of them. I think that was episode 4, that I knew that was going to be a slower episode, that the beginning wasn't going to be exactly what I thought it was. And you can see some of those prediction videos up here in a playlist link as well. But overall for the series, my accuracy was 57% accurate for the predictions that we had. Made 28 predictions, got 16 of those correct. Episode 5 threw me for a loop. I put all my eggs in that basket and thought a whole bunch of stuff was going to happen, and it just didn't. So, but as far as staying above 50% there, and for most of the episodes, our accuracy was in the 60s and the 80%, but it really took a nosedive with episode 5. So, thought that was really great, and has been better for some series, but not too shabby, I don't think. Episode rankings, let's get right into it. I thought episode 4 was the best episode of the entire series. It was a slower episode. It's the one where Clint and Kate, where Yelena pops up, where Clint and Kate have a lot of time to have their own Christmas, and they have some conversations back and forth about how he becomes Ronin and all those different things. He talks about Natasha a little bit, and then they retrieve the watch, have the fight on the rooftop with Maya. Not a ton of stuff happens in that episode, but from start to finish, it's a very well-written episode. A whole lot of really great stuff happens as far as dialogue and character development in that episode, and then the build-up to the fight on the rooftop where you get to see those characters. And the stakes for it were really, really great. That was my top episode in the entire series. Next is going to be the finale, episode 6. You got resolutions to Eleanor, Maya, Clint, Kate, but you also got your Kingpin reveal, and you got a lot of screen time with Vincent D'Onofrio's character, and so that was a really excellent episode, but it wasn't as fulfilling as it could have been, so I couldn't rank it above episode 4, which just every single line and every single moment had weight to it, and it was all leading towards something. My next one on this list, episode 5, the flashback with Yelena finding out that she was blipped, except for Kingpin, the Kingpin reveal at the end of it. If there had been more Kingpin in that episode, that one would have been my number 2 episode, but because it didn't, and it had a lot of just kind of hanging around and set up for episode 6, it was not one of my more favorite episodes. I think they bookended it with some really great moments, Yelena on one end and Kingpin on the other, but everything in the middle was just a little bit of a waste, and it was a shorter episode when it didn't really have to be. So 4, 6, 5, and then because of some of the flashbacks, episode 3, with some information about Maya and Echo. That was a really great episode. That is my 4th favorite episode, would be the first episode in my bottom 3. And then switching places here, my least favorite episode, we're going to start at the bottom here, episode 2, had a really great fight scene in it. Kate and Clint getting away from the tracksuit guys, the fight in the car, the fight on the George Washington Bridge with the giant Pymtech arrow. Really, really awesome stuff. But compared to the way that the show started off, episode 1, the opening of that episode, if I had to compare episode 1 and 2, the opening of that episode where you get to see Kate and the exploded house, getting to watch Hawkeye from the first Avengers movie, building into the auction and putting on the Ronin suit and all those different things was really, really excellent, and I really loved that episode. But not as good as some of the meatier stuff we got with episode 3, and definitely not better than Yelena, Kingpin, or anything that happened in episode 4, which I thought was a really great episode leading up to the reveal of Yelena. So again, with a lot of these episodes, you're comparing a 6 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10, or an 8 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10. And so there were a lot of awesome episodes, but that's my ranking there for you. You can see that. Jump right into the series rankings. Where does this series rank with the other series? I don't think this has enough punch or enough weirdness or enough acting chops to compete with the Loki series. Loki is still my number one Marvel series to date. And this is just my opinion here. This is not us looking at Rotten Tomatoes or anything like that. I'm sure you could do your own rankings that way. But the Loki series is at the top. The What If series is still at the bottom. Even though, as I've been thinking about it, I would venture to argue with any of you that the stakes that were presented and the team-ups and the things that happened in the finale of What If are bigger than anything that happened in the finales of Loki, Hawkeye, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or WandaVision. Now I know that in Loki, they opened the multiverse. There was a Kang reveal. There's all those kind of things. Those are really great things, but they didn't have nearly the depth or the stakes moving forward as something as epic as the Guardians of the Multiverse and seeing all those people come together. Even though it's animated and a lot of people don't get into that, it was a weaker series in that regard, and not nearly as good as some of the live action stuff like Loki. So it is my least favorite series, but the finale of What If is probably one of the better ones if you're just comparing the epicness of what happened in the finales of these shows. And so Loki's my favorite. What If is at the very bottom, but let's fill in the middle. WandaVision, just above What If. A very excellent show, and I'm more in love with it every time I watch these other shows just because of the risks they took and the weirdness of it and the strangeness of it, and it's not really like the other ones. But the build-ups that they had and the misdirections that they had, making you think one thing and leading to another, the payoff wasn't nearly as great. Episode 6, where you have the Agatha All Along song, one of the best episodes in the series, definitely the best song, a fantastic episode, but it kind of made for a lackluster episode 7, and I think the fight between White Vision and Wanda's version of Vision was amazing, but not nearly enough to push that one over some other series, even though the characters are a lot of fun, and it ends up being one of the more light-hearted series, even though it deals a lot with grief. Under Loki is where I'm going to put Hawkeye. Hawkeye is my second favorite series in the MCU thus far. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a close third. The only difference between these two is the build-up and the reveal of the villains in Hawkeye, and the way that they were able to take a small story and make it feel big, as opposed to Falcon and the Winter Soldier that had a big story spanning multiple continents and those kind of things, and with these global terrorists, and they made it feel small. The terrorist group was small, even though they showed them on TV, you know, Power Broker and Baron Zemo and all these different things. Madripoor episode was one of the best ones because they took something that you didn't know anything about and made it huge. But the finale of that episode, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, better than the Hawkeye finale, in my mind, just because of the new suit reveal. The fight scenes in that episode were amazing, and then the wrap up that you got with Bucky and Sam, I thought all those things were really fantastic, and then the after credit scenes were awesome with Power Broker, U.S. Agent Sharon Carter, Valentina. All those things were awesome. But the Hawkeye series, start to finish, was better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I thought, as far as the writing and the story and the pacing, and then the stakes and the way that they built it together. And then Kingpin. I'm a huge Daredevil fan, and you will not get me away from ranking anything with Daredevil in it very high in my, probably extremely biased in that regard, but that's how I rank them. Loki, Hawkeye, Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and What If. There's a whole lot of stuff still coming, guys. We've gotten a lot of good movies and a lot of things to really sink our teeth into. Spider-Man No Way Home just came out, and there's a lot of unanswered questions there as well. The Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness trailer just came out. But with regard to our series, we're getting a season 2 of Hawkeye. Don't know when that's going to drop. We're getting another season of Loki. Don't know when that's going to drop. There's going to be a spin-off series with Maya Lopez being Echo. And you can look into all those storylines and those kind of things in the weeks and months to come. But then the Miss Marvel series is our next one that is on tap. That and She-Hulk are coming early in 2022. And so we'll be here to break down all those things and add those to our list of scorecard reviews and rankings and all those kind of things. So tell us what you guys thought. Did I get these rankings wrong? Did I get the series rankings wrong? Where do you guys think these things rank? And stay tuned for my conversation with the astounding Cameron as well. He and I do a podcast and do a video here on YouTube that'll be on my channel talking about the Hawkeye series and what we thought about it and all the ins and outs of those things, so you don't want to miss that as well. Be sure to share this video, subscribe to this video, click the notifications so when we drop a new one, you'll be the first one to find out, and share this thing all across the multiverse. Check out some of our other videos over here. We got a ton of different things to check out, some really cool reviews and some different fun things and conversations that you can dive into as well. Other than that, when the next one drops, we'll catch you right back here. Thanks for watching, guys.